Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the real reason NBA players are calling out the New Jersey Brooklyn Nets. So that's the topic I want to get into today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro Premium community and also Dreamerspro.com, our website, which we're looking to launch at the end of this month. Anyway, let me just get into this topic here. Now, some people say, oh my God, why does he keep saying the New Jersey Nets? The New Jersey Nets. Well, they've been the New Jersey Nets for like the past 20 years. So it's just a slip. Like some people, oh, it's not professional. Like as if you never heard somebody make a mistake. But then again, these are the perfect people in the world that like to criticize us people that make mistakes. I guess you guys are perfect and you never made a mistake. So thank you for pointing that out for us. Anyway, let me get into the topic here. So this news of the Nets acquiring James Harden has been the big news in the NBA. Some people already put the Nets in the NBA final or in the Eastern Conference finals, or to be in the NBA finals. I did not go that far because I thought the Nets had so many issues, right? So many issues. You can start with Kyrie Irving, him not even being there. We don't even know what his status is, when he's going to come back. The fact of the playing styles of these guys and how all of that's going to work. So I had so many question marks about it. However, y'all know a player that I really do not. I don't want to say I don't like him, but I don't really care much for his game. That's James Harden. And the person also, I'm not attracted to James Harden and his personality and the way he does things. He doesn't seem like a serious guy. Some people say, yeah, he works hard, he plays basketball and all. But yeah, that's what you're paid to do. So I'm not going to give you credit for doing what you're paid to do, right? We're not living in that world. We're all adults here. Like, no one is giving you credit for doing your job. That's what you're supposed to do, and you get compensated really well to do it. So nobody's going to tap you on, oh man, great job for doing it. It's your job. We're all adults and he's a professional. So I don't give people credit for doing what they're supposed to do, especially when they're being rewarded for it handsomely. However, James Harden is just not one of these dudes I flowed with. I don't like his game. I think his game is whack to me, to be honest. I'm not a fan of that type of basketball. To me, it's corny. And so many players in the past have said you'll not win a championship. When Kobe said it, oh, Kobe hating on James. What is it that James Harden has that Kobe needs to hate? What is it? There's nothing that James Harden ever had that Kobe would need to hate. Kobe had more money than him. He had more success than him. He was better. I mean, like, what is it that Kobe had to hate on him? I think it's just some simple, like Kyrie Irving, some simpletons that say, oh, Kobe's hating on him. How? Like, if you criticize somebody, are you a hater? So what does it make you that's too afraid or just lets anything go? Like, oh, anything goes with some people out there. And for me, I think a lot of that needs to stop. Now, yesterday, the TNT crew with Shaq, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and these guys, they chimed in on the recent acquisition by the New Jersey Nets. And Shaq had some poignant comments that I'm not sure a lot of you guys heard. So before I go into what he said, take a listen to what Shaq had to say about the whole James Harden thing.
Shaq, you got a problem with how James Harden forced his way out of Houston?
Yes and no. One is the business of basketball, but when you say you gave the city your all, that ain't true. And I'm about to say some things, and keep in mind I have G14 classification to say these things. You asked for Dwight Howard, we gave him to you. Didn't work out. You asked for Chris Paul, we gave him to you. You asked for some shooters, we gave it to you. We asked for Westbrook, your homeboy from Little League, we gave him to you. Didn't work out. And when you say I gave you everything, I say no, you didn't. Because the last 5 games, when it comes to elimination, you're 1-4. You've been shooting 41%, 24% from 3, 32 assists, and 27 turnovers. I used to be like James. I used to come home and complain, man, he didn't do it. And my father, rest in peace, Sergeant Philip Harris, used to say, but what the hell did you do? He ain't do nothing. He ain't step up when he was supposed to step up. So, when you're the man and you make all the money, you make 30, 40 million a year, it's a big responsibility. Chuck has said this many times. When you're the man, you got a big responsibility. It's all on you. So when it comes time to show up, he ain't show up. So I know a lot of people in Houston glad he's gone. So now he got his little super team. He got to win this year. If he don't win this year, it's a bust, period.
Now, in that audio, you could clearly hear Shaquille O'Neal speaking his mind on James Harden, keeping it real, right? So let me ask you guys, some people are going to say Shaq is a hater. Shaq is hating too? Shaq, he a hater too? Again, what does Shaq have to hate on James? What does James Harden have that Shaq doesn't have? Shaq is a multiple-time champion. He's rich as hell. He's famous as hell. So if you go around the world and you ask people about basketball, most people are going to say Shaq. Like, most people know who Shaq is. The only reason James Harden would be popular, like in a place like China, is because of Yao Ming, right? He's the most popular player out there. But that has nothing to do with his doing. It's just circumstantial. Very soon, John Wall and these guys are going to be very popular in China because that team, the Houston Rockets, are very popular in China. But Shaq was keeping it real. He was like, yo, you asked for Dwight Howard. You asked for Chris Paul. You asked for your boy Russell Westbrook. And then when it came time to show up in the playoffs, you never did. Shaq was just keeping it real. You never did. You never, ever did. How about we talk about that for a second? How many times James Harden has come up small in the playoffs? How many times is that? He's never taken his team to the next level, ever. That's why I was always astonished when people are like, oh, James Harden is a top 5 player in the back. No, he's not. He's not a top 5 basketball player in the world. There's so many players I'll put ahead of him. I'll put Kawhi ahead of him. I'll put Kevin Durant ahead of him. I would put LeBron James ahead of him. I would put Stephen Curry ahead of him. I mean, there's so many guys who are way more reliable than this guy that I'll put ahead of James Harden. And the last night, Shaq called him out, and I'm happy that he did. But it didn't stop there. There's also an audio of Charles Barkley giving his thoughts on whether or not he thought or he thinks that this experiment is going to work in New Jersey. So in Brooklyn. So take a listen to what Charles Barkley had to say.
Let me bring in Charles Barkley, TNT Inside the NBA analyst. And last time I talked to you about this topic with James Harden, that was November 25th, and you didn't think it could work. Change your opinion?
Not at all. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to be I thought they bought him in because they wasn't sure what was going to happen with Kyrie. They bought him in as an insurance policy. And now I think it's going to be fascinating watching those 3 guys play together, if they all play together. I mean, we have no idea what's going on with Kyrie. But, no, I don't think it's going to work at all because those other guys don't bring in the diversity to the table. Those other 2 guys, they are offensive players. They don't play defense. They don't rebound. So it's only one basketball. I think it's got 0 chance of working.
But you also, and you know this, where it feels like KD could get 30 on 16 shots. You know, he would find a way to get to the line, and he can be economical. The other guys are volume shooters. Certainly Harden is. And then I just wonder, what kind of offense do you run when you have 3 alphas like that?
Well, I think that's why I don't think it's going to work. I think it's really going to be like they just going to take turns, and I don't think that's going to work because, like I say, other than KD, the other 2 guys, they're not going to, like, when KD went to Golden State, he's like, okay, I'll play defense and I'll rebound the ball. I don't see Kyrie and James doing that. I think when KD got the ball, they're just going to be standing around. And so I don't think, like I say, listen, I don't think it's going to work at all. It's going to be fun watching because seeing how James and Kyrie handle the New York media, to me, is going to be like the most fascinating part of this whole thing.
Now, in that soundbite, Charles Barkley is pretty much saying the same exact things that I said when we published our video yesterday. How is it going to work? These guys are ball-dominant players with the exception of Kevin Durant, number 1. Number 2, who's going to be the leader on that team? Who's going to be the leader on that team? And number 3, who's going to sacrifice? Who's going to sacrifice their game? Is it going to be Kyrie Irving that probably thinks he's just as good as Kevin Durant? Is it going to be James Harden, who is dribble, shoot? Who's going to be the one to sacrifice their game? And for me, I think it's fantastic that these guys are calling these guys down to the carpet, the James Hardens and the Kyrie Irvings of the world. Because now, if they lose, you can't say it's because of a lack of talent. They have the talent, although they gutted their entire their defense. But now it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they do. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about the comments that Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal made about James Harden and the Brooklyn Nets overall? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.